We have breaking news. We're going to shift gears because there's a verdict. This is in the case out of Georgia. Eligio Bishop. He is the one that was charged with rape of someone who was in his cult, and we have a verdict. So we're going to get you inside that courtroom.
I understand that you all have reached a verdict. Is that correct? Yes. And you are the foreperson? Are you the foreperson? Are you the foreperson? Okay. Sorry. I know it's hard to hear. Will you go ahead and hand the verdict form to the deputy? He's going to show it to me first. I'm going to review it and make sure it's filled out properly. And then I will have you enter it into the, I'll have you stand up and read it into the record and publish it. All right, and it is signed and dated. All right, everything looks like it is properly filled out. If you would please hand it back. And if you would, let me just, let's see, where's my copy of the indictment? All right, this is the verdict of the jury in indictment number 24 CR 1183, State of Georgia versus Eligio Bishop. On count one, how does the jury find? Count one is rape.
Guilty.
And count two, false imprisonment.
Guilty.
Count three, prohibition on nude or sexually explicit electronic transmissions.
Guilty.
Count four, prohibition on nude or sexually explicit electronic transmissions.
Guilty.
And count five, prohibition on nude or sexually explicit electronic transmissions.
Guilty.
All right. And it is signed and dated by you as the foreperson.
Correct.
Thank you very much. All right. I'm going to have the deputy provide the verdict form to the state and to the defense for them to review. All right. Go ahead and mute courtroom C, please. Thank you. All right. Anything further from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Anything further from the state?
Judge, I'll be filing a motion to seal the jurors' any identifying information in this case. I'll have that filed by the end of the day, but other than that, no, Your Honor.
Okay. And as far as the sentencing, when does the state, when do y'all want to go forward with that?
We'd be prepared to go forward as soon as this afternoon, whenever the court would like.
Mr. Booker?
I understand what my client is, Judge. Whenever the court's pleasure, it's fine. You can do it now.
Okay.
I do have some of the individuals that testified as witnesses would like to appear by Zoom, so there'll be a few minute delay in getting those invitations sent out and notifying those individuals.
Okay.
Ms. Newell is here, obviously, in person, so she would be available whenever the court would like.
Okay. Well, let me just do this. Let me first excuse the jury. You have concluded your jury service. I know this was a very long, arduous trial, and I want to thank you for your service. You can go back to the jury room one final time. Do we have their letters? I'll come back there and give you. I'll stand far away, but give you all your letters, and then we will get you outside and on your way. So thank you very much for your service, and if you just hold for a few minutes for me, I'll be there momentarily.
All right, so a jury finds Eligio Bishop guilty on all counts, including rape, false imprisonment, 3 counts of releasing sexually explicit material electronic transmission, all related to the victim, who we do not and will not name right now. But again, she claimed that he raped her. She was trying to leave the cult, and he forced her to have sex with her. So an interesting verdict there. He had claimed that, you know, they had had sex many times consensually. So this time sort of fit into that. And as far as the sexually explicit videos, he said they had to do that as a way of educating people. It was an educational video.
And so clearly the jury didn't buy that and did not believe any of his version of what he says happened. He's now convicted of all counts, like you said.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And so what I want to do now is I want to very quickly, there was a long interview that he did with police, and he said some interesting things. Not only that, what I mentioned earlier about the videos being for education, but he also said, how can they prove rape when there is so much evidence of us together freely. And he also said something to the effect that women are the property of men, and so you can't rape. I mean, the guy just had some really out there views, and I think it certainly was a correct verdict. But let's take a listen to him here as he explains the reasons for releasing those sexually explicit videos.
I have a video showing how we did it. You know what I'm saying? Like, when she's incomplete, she's like literally going through the spiritual journey. It's a spiritual video, like showing that the vagina, like it was really like an educational thing, right? And so I have the whole footage, like literally, like, and when she left, she was mad, and then she just flipped on me and said revenge porn. Because what happened was on my Twitter, when she left, I thought she wanted to leave. I was like, oh my God. So when she left, it was still on Twitter. So she said, she didn't ask me, she didn't call me and say, can you take that down? Because we did that together, can you take that down? She didn't do that. She just says revenge porn. And I know it's my haters, you know, saying, you should get on this. They're literally doing everything they can to put me in jail.
I do want to mention that you saw Eligio Bishop there. He was not in the courtroom for the verdict. He had chosen to watch the proceedings from the county jail, basically protesting the idea that the judge had been diagnosed with COVID on Tuesday. They didn't have any court on Wednesday. Then she decided to come back on Wednesday, wear a mask, allowed anyone else who wanted to wear a mask to wear a mask. But this defendant decided that he didn't want to be in the courtroom at the time. So let's bring in our guest quickly. Still with us, trial attorney, former criminal defense attorney, Erica Wilson. Erica, I want to get your reaction to the verdict here. Clearly, jury not buying his story here.
And I'm not surprised. He is, for lack of a better word, he is a character, and I think he's the victim of his own circumstance. I agree with you, Michael. He was just so far out there. You know, you can't help but wonder, is this, verdict a result of the fact that he probably is a very difficult client? He's fired multiple attorneys. He tried to fire another attorney at the 25th hour. It strikes me as one of those clients that cannot be reined in, and you can kind of tell that by some of the things that he said. He's just so very far out there. And with these theatrics and these antics and not wanting to be in the courtroom, I think all of this was just a harbinger of what was to come. I'm not surprised by the jury verdict at all.
Yeah, I'm not either, based on the evidence presented. Let me just ask you this quickly, because I know sometimes viewers watch, or sometimes there's some ugly talk on social media about, but they were having a consensual relationship, just like he said. So how is it rape? Erica, just talk to us about that briefly to help inform, educate those who may think that could make a difference. It really doesn't.
It makes no difference at all, because you can rape your spouse. And so you can have sex with your spouse every night of the week and then turn around and it can still be rape. So again, and I'm sure his counsel have advised him on these things, but in his mind, he has determined what is right and what is wrong. And again, as I say, he's the victim of his own circumstance, because for you to even believe that is kind of crazy. It really wouldn't matter historically if you guys have had consensual sex. It only takes one time for her to say no, and then it turns into non-consensual. So it's so outlandish, it's just almost laughable at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, his thought process and the way he was speaking was just so antiquated.
Yeah.
You know, and then one could see maybe in 1998, people might buy this argument that, we had sex 1,000 times, so how could I possibly rape her? But today, we're just much more enlightened than that.
And I would suggest that all of the individuals involved with him consensually are victims of his manipulation, et cetera, as well.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
And you know what's something, I just have to mention one more thing, and I thought about our sort of internet culture. He talked about wanting to reach people, and he had like a lot of his followers slap each other and do things that were outrageous on video. His thing was, that's the only way to get people's attention these days. And it just made me think of just the internet culture and all of that business and how this guy just abused people and abused the whole thing.